Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films, Week 4. Look, we got some issues here with the Ravens. I'll talk about that, but we're also have a big game coming up this Sunday at Kansas City. So we're going to look ahead, have some fun like we usually do, look at these matchups, but still address everything in the beginning. A lot to talk about, a lot going on this week. Look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. I know after a loss, usually the video views go down, and you can look across YouTube; they all go down. But so the guys and gals that are here tonight really appreciate you. You are the hardcore fans. Also, shout out, as you can see at the bottom, all the channel members that continue to support this program means a lot. Thank you to everybody. Keep your name scrolling down there, and we have some good stats for this game. I usually had them scrolling or used to have them scrolling down at the bottom, but now I have them in a chart format so I can give love to the channel members. If you want to become one, of course, you can go ahead and hit that join button. Let's see who is in here already. Now, I know the lovely Chris was in here first with the purple and black hearts, and a good evening, Jason. And hey, my guy Dwiz, your paso, my brasso, Dwiz into his. What is up, man? What is up, Dwiz? Look forward to hearing from you tonight. Look forward to it. And Mr. Zaratniak here. Hey, Chris. Hey, Jason. Hey, Dwiz. Salute. See y'all in here. LL Cool Jason from Tila. Hi, Tila. Great seeing you. Make sure you behave yourself or not, as I usually say in the chat tonight. Look forward to hearing from you as well, too. As we kind of like lean on each other a little bit here and get through what we just witnessed on Monday night, but also look ahead for the rest of the season. It's a long, long season. Alex, hey, good evening. Good evening, Alex. Thanks so much, man. Thanks for joining. And Dario Yo with the membership there himself. Hey, Jason. Hey, everyone. Cosmonaut in here. All right, Jay, unpack this shiz for us. Give us hope, man. It's rough out here. I know it. Hey, fun fact, Cosmonaut Project. Stop by on Sunday. We watched one of the worst games I've ever seen in the history of football between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. An unsuccessful hate watch, thanks to fumbles. Not that I can talk, but with the fumbles we had. Also, the PRP gang in here. What is up, man? I imagine that's Sutton. Sutton, hey, how you doing? Caught Sutton on Coach's Roundtable the last couple of weeks, and I will be on with the Purple Rain podcast tomorrow night. So Thursday, if you want to check me out over there. And a salute to Ravens 76B more. So let's start with something kind of serious, unfortunately. When asked today about Nnamdi Madubuike's status, of course, he missed practice all last week with a neck issue. And we're kind of holding our breath at the press conference today because it just, the less you hear, the worse with this kind of thing. It was never said, oh, he's just sore, he'll be back soon, or any of that. It was just a big question mark. And then finally today, when Harbaugh was asked, he said, I am concerned about it, but I haven't been given the okay to comment on it. And I think that speaks for itself right there. The coach hasn't been given the okay to comment on it. So how this affects the team is one thing, how it affects the season, the big contract that Nnamdi has, all that is, worthy to talk about. But, first and foremost, prayers, thoughts, prayers, heart goes out to Nnamdi Madubuike. Hope he's holding up not only physically, but mentally right now. And, you can't help but to think, bad thoughts, tough thoughts. If you're a Ravens fan hearing Harbaugh comment like that. So Nnamdi Madubuike, a great Ravens player. Now, the future's in doubt. Maybe his career's in jeopardy. Don't want to jump to any conclusions, but if you haven't been given the okay to talk about it, that's something you never hear the coach say. So just prayers up to Nnamdi. Prayers up to Nnamdi. Hope that he's doing well. Hope he has a lot of good people in his quarter to support him through this time because you could tell they showed him on the sideline a little bit in Monday night's game. And he was obviously calm, cool, collected into the game. But, man, that's got to be a lot going on upstairs, man, when you have a neck injury and who knows what's going on with it. And just trying to respect his privacy a little bit and not dig and ask a bunch of questions. But yeah, it definitely does not sound good. Thinking about you, Namdi. Love you. Love the way you play ball. So let's switch it now to a less serious topic, but still a concerning one. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this graphic, but I'm going to bring it up. Here's a list of the quarterbacks with 9 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions through the first 3 games of the season over the last 3 seasons. So you see Patrick Mahomes is on this list 3 times. Aaron Rodgers is on this list twice. You got a Tom Brady and a Peyton Manning sighting on this list. All-time great quarterbacks. And all those teams were 3-0. Lamar Jackson, 9 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions through 3 games, and the Ravens are 1-2. Just an unbelievably head-scratching start to the season. The loss in Buffalo, was just a heart-wrenching loss for us because we'd seen that movie so many times. And then what we saw on Monday night was just a total beatdown in our own house, getting it handed to us. Physical, football, missing tackles, giving up pressures, 7 sacks on Lamar. So a lot going through the heads of Ravens fans right now, and not a lot of it good. And like I said, we're not going to wallow in this. We're going to have a good time tonight, but we do have to address some of the issues here. Now, something that I brought up: wherefore art thou, Ravens defense? I blew that. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? That is the correct spelling of it, by the way. Look that up. So you should be proud of me. I could use the Google machine. But where's the Ravens defense? 32 points per game allowed. That includes a Cleveland game where we gave up a garbage time score. Really, Cleveland couldn't do anything to us on offense, but gave up the 41 in Buffalo and the 38 to Detroit. And those are really, really good offenses, 2 of the top offenses in football, but no excuse. No excuse for any era. There have been less talented teams. If you had a team full of unknowns and rookies, 32 points per game given up is unheard of. It's unacceptable. When you're the Baltimore Ravens, it's unacceptable. When you're paying guys and spending high draft picks on players on defense and funding the defense and investing in the defense like we have, it makes it even more mind-blowing and unacceptable. So it's just a really tough scene out here. I do have a suggestion that we're going to get to in a minute, but man, part of it is just like, where's the passion? Where's the energy? The 20 missed tackles on Monday Night Football at home in the black jerseys, like you couldn't have convinced me that was going to happen. Really haven't seen anything like it. And we're celebrating our 30th year. Those first 2 years, 96, 97, even into 98, we were an offensive team. Our defense was bad. But this hurts after the long history of the Ravens, to see us get it handed to us in the black jerseys and not be able to fight back and get mashed in the running game, all our guys getting blocked, definitely hurts to see. So I tweeted this out, and I think there's a lot of attacks on Zach, the blame game, and I also want to touch on the identity. People are blaming Zach Orr. I've been back and forth on this for a year plus 3 games now, and a few weeks ago, I was apologizing to Zach and saying, well, you look pretty good. Everything looks good. Maybe it was just the Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson safety combination back there that was making Zach look bad. And, he made the adjustment. We fixed it. Everything looked pretty good down the stretch. But here we are again. And just mentioned it a little while ago, the blowing the lead in Buffalo and then the Monday night debacle that we just went through. We're losing in all kinds of different ways. And when we bring up the stats later, it's going to be a hide the kids, hide your wife type situation because the stats are ugly all the way around. And there was something that I tweeted out that's just a little while ago, a couple hours ago, that's gotten a lot of attention. Let's see if I can find it. I might have to present it. I think I forgot to present it. Okay, here we go. We were talking about Mike Macdonald, and Gucci, you can see there, said, "I miss him, man." He's talking about Mike McDonald. And this made me think back to 2023. Geno Stone, Ronald Darby, and Brandon Stevens look like Pro Bowl players. Mike McDonald kept Patrick Queen from getting exposed. The blitzes were dialed up perfectly. The disguises were tight. Roquan was aggressive every week. We've been listless since he left. And remember, that 2023 team had the Triple Crown. Least points allowed, most sacks, most turnovers, just an aggressive, sound, physical defense. And since Mike McDonald left to Seattle, we haven't been the same. It's looked like a lifeless type defense. And again, Zach's first year, much like Mike McDonald's first year, there were some struggles. You accept that. You saw him make the adjustments, and that's part of the learning curve. Mike had the same problems his first year in 2022, but now we're leaking into Zach Orr's second year. So I'm curious, how much of the blame do you put on Zach Orr here? And I'm going to get to the comments. I see the comments are lighting up. And I just want to see if anybody has anything. Again, going to do my best with the comments here. I love that you guys are interactive. All right. And yet, Raven 76 was born in 76. Yes, so was I. So was I. I am a bicentennial baby as well. The tissue paper defensive formation. Yes, Cosmo. We had David Ajabo and Mike Green lining up off ball as an inside linebacker. They're still in their off season apparently. Got the podcast going. My old English. I let ye down. I let ye down with that. Wrong players or wrong coverage. Because it seems like whatever we try does not work. And, this is where it gets back to it's an art form. So what Zach Orr is running is not that much different from Mike McDonald. You have a lot of the same players, a lot of the same play calls. I think it's like a feel thing. There's an art form to it. When to dial up the blitz. And it doesn't look like we practice the blitz. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And like you said, no kind of identity. That's my main thing. Like Wink had an identity. Mike McDonald had an identity, just organized, just the disguises, everything was tip top. It's just really right. It was just really rough. Raven 76 couldn't understand how Marcus Williams fell off like that. Maybe it was Orr's scheme after all. And there was a lot going on behind the scenes with Marcus Williams. You hear the whispers. But that's really rough. Dario outsnapped again, 66-54, 38-21 in the first half, which I think took its toll on our defense. Agreed. So all this is getting to my solution to all this, which is I believe that we have to be more aggressive and we have to blitz more. There are a couple of reasons for that. Like the Ravens have one of the lowest blitz rates in the NFL. I think they've ranked 29th, 28th. In percentage of blitzes they call. Look at the pass rush, especially now that Madubuike's out, Kyle Van Noy's out. The strength of this defense is in its secondary. The famous 5 first-round picks, the safety talent. Wuzier's been really, really good. Probably our best, most consistent defender so far. Nate Wiggins. So let's stress them. Let's let them earn their money because rushing with 4, we are not going to get home with a 4-man rush. We have seen it. So let's practice the blitzes because when we have blitzed, they're not as effective. Like I said, with Mike McDonald, the disguises were really well. The timing was really well. It seemed like anytime he called a blitz, he didn't blitz a lot either. And anytime he called it wreaked havoc. And that's what I'm looking for Zach Orr. That would be the coaching adjustment that I would make is to, and Dwiz asked, what's the identity? Our identity should go more to, look, we're going to challenge our corners to man up more. We're going to play some press, and we're going to blitz the quarterback and make him get rid of the ball. And to Dario's point here, outsnapped again, we're averaging about 70 snaps a game on defense. Well, hey, if the other team makes a big play and they score quickly, hey, tip your cap to them. We'll put Lamar right back out on the field. but we cannot keep giving up these third downs and having the other team just slice and dice us apart. And keep our defense on the field, wear our defense out. Like, I would just like to see us be more aggressive and take that as part of our identity. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. Kind of led me right into it. Alex, it feels like Zach Orr has tried to carry on the basic identity of the McDonald defense, but just doesn't have the same feel for play calling. So yeah, you said that. And Linda J is in here. Linda, keep everybody in line. Keep them in line, Linda. Tell them to hit the like button, subscribe, join, all that other stuff. Will Saunders checking in. Thanks, Will. McDonald had great post-snap movement and disguises. That started cover 2, rotated into different coverage, but mostly zone. Seems like the Ravens are tipping coverage because quarterbacks seem prepared. They do. They know where to go with the ball. And the other thing, Will, that you're mentioning here is that when we would blitz, like from the nickel, from the slot, that safety, it would be timed up perfectly to where, we knew that the quarterback was going to go to the uncovered receiver, and the safety would come crashing down on that slot receiver. So a slot blitzer, crash on the slot receiver, and a lot of broken passes, a lot of tip passes. That's what I'm getting at, Will. If this front four isn't going to get home, we really have to work, and we have the smart safeties to do it. Malachi is smart. Kyle's smart. They're communicating well. Let's disguise it. Let's work on some of the idiosyncrasies of the defense. They can handle it. These aren't bums. Let's stop treating them like just, nameless, faceless players and give our secondary the credit they deserve. Hey, Ivor's Taurus in there. You, Jason, appreciate you. Got the 3 100s there and the biceps. Yeah, and Chris calling them names. I gotta call you out there. Chris. Tim, swear I was just looking for this video and missed it somehow. Hey, you're caught up now, Tim. Appreciate you for checking in. So great first run of the comments. But yeah, on Zach, the identity, the blame game. I don't want to blame the coaches. The players are always going to say, it's not Zach's fault. We need to be accountable for this. Don't blame the coaches. We need to execute better. But there is something to be said. I do think that we have had a drop off. The lack of identity stuns me. And then, the lack of aggression, the listlessness, the staying on the field, the getting out physical by the Lions and beat up in our own house. Like, I don't like it. We've seen players regress under Mike McDonald, like Roquan, Broderick Washington. You can even argue away. Marlon's gone through downs. Like, there's plenty of blame to go around, as Jeremiah, what's up, J-Dub, says. So, yes, definitely. And I mentioned the possible adjustment. I'm practicing blitzes. I'm putting in more blitz packages. And by the end of the year, I would want to be top 10 in blitzing. And if we give up the big plays, that's fine. But don't keep getting out snapped, like Dario is saying, and wearing down our players and having our players get injured. So on the other side of the ball, not all peachy either. Now, the Ravens have some beautiful numbers when it comes to offense. But I wanted to gauge you guys' feel on Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry's not getting benched. He's not going anywhere. How worried are you? How worried are you if you had to give a 1 to 10, say, that the fumbling issue is going to become a problem? Me, I'm kind of not worried at all. I think that Derrick Henry obviously is taking this to heart. He was interviewed. There's what's on the Ravens website. They had a 5-minute locker room interview with Derrick Henry that I watched like an hour or two before the show started. In like the first 3.5, 4 minutes, he was just answering question after question about the fumbles. Derrick Henry is not a fumbler. I think the one last week was kind of like a fumble that you would normally see. Like maybe, Aiden Hutchinson made a good play. Maybe that's the one fumble he usually has, is on a play like that. The other two, I feel like he got sloppy with the ball, and he's spending all this time moving backwards, trying to stiff arm guys, and he's not concentrating on the ball enough. That's what I saw in the Cleveland game when Tylan Wallace recovered, and in that Buffalo game late, where he's just fending off all these people in his face and fumbling the ball. So me, scale of 1 to 10, I feel like he's going to figure it out. Maybe my concern level is at a 3. I'll give it a 3. but I think Derrick Henry is going to figure that out. 3, 4 for Jeremiah. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Okay. Concerned with the vision and awareness. All right. Once fumbling gets in your head, thank you, Dario. It can be more mental than physical. It may affect his running the near future, but he will figure it out. I agree. And this is why I go back to what I just said about the Buffalo game and the Cleveland game, where I think he was thinking more, Dario, about the bad blocking in front of him and how am I going to get around this, and instead of just having his head down and powering through. That's what I saw in definitely in the Buffalo game, was just someone that was trying to do too much. Hey, and Mr. James comes in. Hello, Flock. Hello, Mr. James. A channel membership looks good on you, man. I'm so happy that you got it. So happy that you got it. And yeah, Taurus, poor Henry. Agreed. I think the man's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. But I had to bring that up. On the offense again. Now this is stunning to me. So I had to bring this up. And this goes back to a pet peeve, going to be like a little mini rant here. What's the average third down distance for the Ravens? Average third down distance for the Ravens is 3rd and 8.4. That is 30th in the league. So when it's third down for the Ravens, the average distance is almost 9 yards, more than 8 yards. And surprisingly, they're 7th in the league, the Lamar Jackson effect. They're converting 44.1% of their third downs into first downs. But they're behind the sticks, fellas. They are behind the sticks. And that goes back to the run blocking. And, people like to minimize it. Well, as long as they're good pass blockers, the run blocking doesn't matter. It's a passing league, yards per touch, blah, blah, blah. Look, we could be number 1 in third down conversions and keep the chains moving. If we had a normal down and distance that we're dealing with, it's affecting our running back. It's affecting our running game. And when your running game's affected, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to defend the pass. So, if we're facing 3rd and 4, those are going to get converted. 3rd and 8, a lot tougher to convert. So we have to get positive yards on 1st and 2nd down. The run blocking has to improve. And when you look across the line, Ronnie Stanley, excellent run blocker. Center, Tyler Linderbaum, excellent run blocker. Faalele is not going to be able to run block. He's not going to be able to do anything effectively other than the down block. You just hope he doesn't ruin the play. Honest criticism there, assessment, film study, the whole 9. There's just not a lot of movement skills in Faalele. Voorhees is a key. Rosengarten is a key. So we need those guys to keep going. With Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the backfield, your average third down should not be anywhere near 8.4. You should be able to get a nice 4-yard run, 5-yard run, and even if the next you throw an incomplete pass in there, one of those 2 downs, you're left with a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. That should be your worst case scenario with the talent that we have in the background. So the offensive line has got to get its butt in gear. It's got to get its butt in gear and keep us on track. Well, do we see a change at guard this week? Honestly, if Cleveland is worse than Voorhees, Faalele, should he be in the league? They asked John about this, and he said, well, if you watch it, I'm not making this up, Will. At Harbaugh's press conference today, he said that George Warhop gives the offensive line good grades. Gaslighting us, in our face, playing with us, man. Said that the offensive line is grading out good, according to offensive line coach George Warhop. So that's what we're dealing with here, Will, being gaslit by the coach. And I guess if you ask any film guy, from me to Coach DC, to Coach Evans, to Cole Jackson, to anybody who studied this Ravens team, they will tell you that the offensive line play is poor. But the coach will get up there, and the fans know it too. But the coach will get up there and tell you with a straight face that the offensive line is grading out well. I think he said they have good grades. Harbaugh's and wow. Yeah. Look, he could have just said, they've got to play better. I've got to coach better. We've got to block better. But he didn't. He said, no, they're grading out well. You know, it's just kind of crazy. That's kind of stuff that, where, Harbaugh is losing confidence in the fan base. But just if he could just be a little more honest with us, um, I think that that would help. Say, hey, we need to play better. Everybody's job is up for competition. We'll do what's best for the team. There's a million cliches out there that you could say, but don't say that they're grading out well. They can play a lot better. And as a matter of fact, in Derrick Henry's interview today, and Lamar mentioned this in his presser, he's basically saying execution. We got to execute better. We got to execute better. Do you think that means that Derrick Henry needs to run any harder or hit the right hole or stay? No, it means we got to block better. Is what it means. Execute better means we got to block better because dudes are getting open, and Derrick Henry knows what to do when he has the football as long as he holds on to it. It's all about that offensive line, and they're going to have to play better. They're going to have to come together. The coaching staff has made its bet on this. It seems like they're going to be hard-headed. I can tell you that Ben Cleveland's a better player and deserves a shot in there. Emory Jones isn't practicing. Haven't heard a word from him. Carson Vincent, maybe he could help us, but they're going to concentrate and develop him at guard, which maybe they probably should do. Corey Bullock never played in the NFL game before. So it looks like they're going to ride and die with Voorhees and Faalele. These guys have got to play the best they can. So yeah. And I get a malarkey from Tila in there. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show these comments in here. None of y'all reminded me. So I'm going to blame you guys for that. Okay, so some injury updates. Some good news today. Harbaugh was asked about Travis Jones, Broderick Washington. Both of those guys missed practice today, so did Ronnie Stanley. But basically, Harbaugh said they're nursing some things. We're only 48 hours out from the end of the game. So that makes sense. So even though today's Wednesday, that would be like a normal Tuesday if you played on the Sunday game. The Ravens played Monday night. So here we are, less than 48 hours. So, I mean, the loss of Madubuike is tough enough. It looks like, from Harbaugh's comments, Travis Jones, Broderick Washington will be okay. He expects them to play. So that's very good news there. Let's get into it. It is time to get into it. Let's start with the Ravens offense against the Kansas City Chiefs defense. This is going to be a really good matchup. There we go. So I hope you guys like the chart. Put it together myself. You see the Ravens offense on the left, the Chiefs defensive ranks on the right. And these are the key categories that I came up with. So you can see if somebody is in the top 10 of something, you're going to see the green next to the number. And if they're in the bottom 10 of something, you are going to see a red next to the number. And we'll do that when we look at the other side of the ball. So you look at the Ravens scoring offense first, yards per pass first, yards per carry still third, even with the Derrick Henry struggles. The big runs that Henry has, we're still third in yards per carry. Third down percentage, we mentioned that earlier, 44.1%. And the Ravens have only turned the ball over twice. Those two fumbles are it. So the Ravens are taking care of the ball. Over on the Kansas City side, if you just scroll down and look at all the numbers, or just just breeze through the numbers. What's the word I'm looking for when you're reading something, but you're just, oh man, it's getting on my nerves. But yeah, a middle of the pack to good defense. Points allowed 9th. Total yards 11th, pass yards 10th. See all the rankings there. The Chiefs defense has been solid. Takeaways, sacks, they're up there in everything. And I see Tila sacks taken on. Yeah, the sacks taken. 7 sacks for Lamar Jackson last week. And of course, I'm going to have to get that off because it's blocking the screen. But yeah, 7 sacks last week. And I mean, he had 5 the first 2 weeks. So that's not really that good either. You can see the Chiefs, middle of the pack. Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 7 times in 3 games. So we have got to get that cleaned up. But that's a look at this is the strength on strength. The Ravens obviously a very good offense. The Chiefs very good defense. Remember, the Chiefs had played the Los Angeles Chargers, really good offense. The Philadelphia Eagles, productive but boring offense. And then, of course, the Giants with the clunker, much like the Ravens, where they had the Browns game and then faced two pretty darn good teams. Same for the Chiefs. They're both 1-2. So there's the numbers in a nutshell. The game could be won on this side of the ball. It makes me wonder how many points can we put up against this good defense. Score predictions are going to be fun this week. I'm wondering if anybody is going to turn tail and take the Chiefs in this game. Let's look at the other side of the ball. Hide the kids, hide your wife. Put the children to bed. Look at all that red on the Ravens defensive side. If y'all want to screenshot this, you can. But the only positive is the two takeaways for the Ravens is 21st in the league. So at least we're not bottom 10 in that. Pass yards allowed per pass. Now, this tells a little bit of the story. As bad as we are, bottom of the league and everything, we're middle of the pack in yards per pass. So are they killing us with the big plays? No. It's a lot of dink and dunk, which goes back to Dario's point of we've got to get off the field on third down. 44.7%. We're 24th in third down percentage on defense. We've got to get off the field one way or the other. That's why we're calling out for more aggressive. Yeah. What else sticks out to you here? The Chiefs have only turned the ball over once. So that's another reason to pressure. Mahomes isn't going to do it to himself. He's not going to do it to himself. But these Kansas City numbers, very pedestrian. And what I'm wondering here out loud to you guys is Buffalo Bills offense, great offense, shredded us. Detroit Lions, great offense, shredded us. Cleveland Browns, terrible offense, couldn't do anything to us. In fact, we had 2 turnovers, fumble recovery. The defense pretty much carried that game against a really legit Cleveland Browns defense. So does that mean that this is, if we play terrible against good offenses, we play well against terrible offenses? If this Chiefs offense, we're looking at, bottom, top 20, but the bottom of the top 20, 15th, 21st ranked type offense. How do you think we're going to do? So that's what this snapshot is meant for. And we're going to do this every week. I saw somebody thank me for putting this together. You're very welcome. I think that it works better than having these numbers scroll across the bottom. And again, I want to give a lot of credit to the channel members with everything being demonetized. I mean, you guys are the lifeblood. I appreciate everybody who's watching this video. But yeah, the memberships and the ones that you guys gifted, y'all right here are the MVPs. So that's what it looks like. Let's also look at the team leaders before we get into the sides of the ball. You see Lamar Jackson there in the purple. Those are league leaders, NFL leaders. 9 touchdowns, 0 interception. That leads the league. 9.6 yard per pass attempts. Now remember, that includes his sacks and incompletions and everything. And he's still, every time he drops back to pass, it's 9.6 yards per attempt. So it doesn't count as sacks. I apologize. It counts as incompletion. His passer rating of 141.8 leads the NFL as well. You see Derrick Henry still has 5.9 yards per carry, just because that Buffalo defense, he shredded them. Bateman came alive last week. Andrews really came alive last week. So you guys are pretty familiar with the Ravens offense. Let's take a peek over at Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, very pedestrian. You can see his completion percentage just under 60%. So Mahomes not completing even 60% of his of his passes. 669 yards, only 3 touchdowns for Mahomes, 1 interception. You can see his rating is at 83.4. Lamar Jackson, 141.8. Patrick Mahomes, 83.4. So this Chiefs passing game been on the struggle bus. Mahomes, of course, is going to make things happen. And the shocking part about this is the Kansas City Chiefs leading rusher is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is doing the old Lamar Jackson, where he leads the team in passing and rushing. Unbelievable. I'm sure the Chiefs do not like that. You see their backs, Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, both averaging under 4 yards per carry, so they cannot get anything going on the ground. Who's their number one target? Old Baltimore Raven, fan favorite, dare I say, Hollywood Brown. It's caught 19 and 27, so that's about 2/3 of his passes Hollywood's catching for 171 yards. Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor. He's their big play guy. He is the Jameson Williams that we saw last week from Detroit. So that's the big play guy, Tyquan Thornton. Of course, you got Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster. By the way, language alert here, but I saw somebody call Juju Smith-Schuster doo-doo shit poopster, and it is stuck in my head ever since. It's the middle school kid in me. For some reason, I find that hilarious. Doo-doo shit poopster. So there you go. That's one for the memory banks. And Dwiz, new member? I thought you were a member. What are you doing? Best stash in the game, Dwiz. Dwiz has the kind of mustache that if he tells you something, you kind of trust him. It's just like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I believe him. That's the Dwiz stash, backwards cap. He's the LL Cool J in here, Tila. He is the LL Cool J. That's too much. That's too much. So yeah, I love you, Dwiz. Thank you so much for coming. I thought you were a channel member, so that is my fault. You don't have to, but that is awesome. And maybe you'll encourage somebody else to join too. So thank you, Dwiz. Love you, brother. Love you so much. Your paso, my brasso. Yeah, I see the laughs in there. Yeah, doo-doo shit poopster. Yeah, you'll never forget that. So let's look at this Ravens offense. Who do you have highlighted? Who are you looking forward to in this matchup? Who I'm not looking forward to in this matchup is Mr. Chris Jones, who you know that they're going to put him up against Faalele a lot. I mean, that's a matchup. It's going to be right in Lamar's face. You know, a right-handed quarterback is going to be turned. Well, it's kind of opposite since the camera, but Lamar is going to be facing the way Andrews and Flowers is in his dropbacks. And they're going to look Chris Jones right in his face. So Chris Jones against Faalele. Linderbaum is going to have to help him out a ton. And what does that do? So if you double team Chris Jones, that means Stanley's got to win his one-on-one against Mike Dana. Stanley can handle that. You got Derek Nandi versus Andrew Voorhees and George Karlaftis versus Roger Rosengarten. You know, Karlaftis, very good player. Loved him coming out of, I believe it was Purdue, right? The Greek Freak, George Karlaftis. Big game for Roger Rosengarten, which is why I have him highlighted. Again, Chris Jones is going to demand all of our attention. Even if a back is in the block, would not surprise me if they're double teaming Chris Jones and the back's first eyes are on Chris Jones as well. You can't let him wreck the game. He's going to get a ton of attention. So that puts stress on the rest of the linemen. And I'm looking at Roger Rosengarten. I think Voorhees matches up pretty well against Derek Nandi. But yeah, that front four of Kansas City against a offensive line that has struggled. I still maintain that I think the pass blocking of the offensive line will be above average, slightly above average. I'm not saying we have a great offensive pass blocking line on the Ravens. I think by the end of the season, they'll be slightly above average. Stanley can pass block. Roger Rosengarten, great feet. Linderbaum, Faalele's strength is pass blocking. And Voorhees, hopefully he gets it straightened out. It's the run blocking that really, really troubles me. See you guys having a great time in here. And hey, Mr. Jones, or Mr. James, sorry, I said Mr. Jones. Mr. James, flyest profile pick in the game. The moon is walking in the background. Got the slick hat, the $4.99 super chat. Thanks, Mr. James. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Mr. James. Living Legend, I see him checking in. Offensive line, as in awful. I see you. That's a good one. And Tila catches you too. So yeah, offensive line versus defensive line. I think you have to give that matchup to the Chiefs. I mean, Cleveland's defensive line kicked our butt. Detroit's defensive line ate our lunch. 30 pressures on Lamar Jackson last week. 30. Never heard of such a thing. The Bills' defensive line, not as talented. Kansas City is more along the lines of the last two defensive lines we saw, and the Ravens have got to play well on that side of the ball. Because when it comes to weapons, the Ravens have them, and they've been showing them off. Ted Walker, DeAndre Hopkins, Zay Flowers, Bateman Eaton last game, Mark Andrews. It was great to see him going. Derrick Henry, of course. We have the weapons. Trent McDuffie, excellent corner. You see him highlighted. He is their off coverage corner. So it's going to be McDuffie versus Flowers a lot in this game. A lot of McDuffie versus Flowers. Can't wait to see it. And the wild thing is with Zay these days is whether it's Denzel Ward or whoever it is at corner, I like Zay. I'll take Zay. Like I feel like Zay Flowers can get open versus virtually any kind of cornerback here. Because what they'll do is they'll have Zay Flowers off the line of scrimmage, just like you see in the screen. Maybe they bring him in motion, and he's just too darn quick, too darn fast, explosive, has the chemistry with Lamar. So look, McDuffie is a great corner, a Pro Bowl corner. Did he make All Pro? Not sure, but a great corner. McDuffie off to an excellent start in his career. I still take Zay in that. Then you have former 7th round pick Justin Watson at the other corner spot, their press corner. He should be seeing a lot of Bateman. Watson has way outplayed his 7th round draft status and turned himself into a good starter in this league. So that's a good matchup to watch, Watson versus Bateman. And then whoever we have in the slot. I don't know. D-Hop looks great out there, but I feel like whether Likely's back or not, Tez Walker needs to see the field more and stretch the field because he has got some dynamic nature to him. I think us Ravens fans, everybody, has got to be excited about Devontae Walker. He looks fast. He looks like his routes are getting sharper. And every time they throw him the ball, it doesn't seem like he makes a play. And Kwame. Kwame. Why you got to bring it up, man? Why you got to bring it up, Kwame? I'm just kidding because I'm right with you. The thing that upsets me about Keaton rotting on the bench is Ali's done well with the kickoffs. And when the ball's kicked to the other kick returner, Ali's done a really good job of being the fullback, the lead blocker on those kickoffs. So I'm not even knocking Ali. But you can't tell me that we couldn't deactivate one of the other special teams guys and have Keaton here. And the thing that gets me, Kwame, is that without Isaiah Likely, it would have been the perfect chance, perfect opportunity to give Keaton Mitchell 2-3 touches a game at least. Manufacture him some touches. You ain't got to take away nothing from Derrick Henry. You could put Keaton Mitchell in the backfield with him or go with, split them out, put them in motion, give them some of the gadget touches you give Zay. But what if Keaton Mitchell were to break a little screen pass even? Yeah. And if we're not willing to do this with Likely out, we're probably not willing to do it, Kwame. And that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, I'm really upset about that. He said the coaches, man, the coaching and the coaching decisions, John Harbaugh, this better work out because the heat's starting to be pointed on the future Hall of Fame coach. And it's not it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Pony package. You're right. That's two running backs there. Exactly, Jay-Z. Straight up waste of prime talent from Twiz. Yep. Agreed. I'm gonna try bringing these comments back up in the beta here. Yeah, it looks like that'll work. I'll probably have to move that next time. Okay. Yeah, Heaton Mitchell, he can go on a heater. So the other Raven I have highlighted, Derrick Henry, obvious reasons. We have got to be able to get Derrick Henry going. This Chiefs defense, obviously a good defense, has been. You have Steve Spagnuolo running the whole thing. They have young safeties there. Now, Brian Cook's been in the league for a little bit, but Jaden Hicks, this is only his second year, his first year really starting. So maybe they can stretch the seams. Maybe this is another big game for Andrews, but I want to test their tackling. We really just need our offensive line to give Henry some kind of room. We need to find a few different run plays that work, so we're not facing third and 8.4, which is our average on the year that we brought up earlier. So yeah, that's what we're looking at on the Ravens offense versus the Chiefs defense. And I see Heather coming in. Hi, Heather. Great seeing you. Let's flip to the other side of the ball. Yep. Okay. No pressure. Chiefs offense versus the Ravens defense. For the Ravens, I have two players that need bounce back games. Travis Jones was absent in that Detroit Lions game. He was dealing with something. He missed practice today. Harbaugh said he should be fine. Just kind of taking this Wednesday off, coming off a Monday night game, short week. But we need him to step up and play better. With Nnamdi out for who knows how long, Travis Jones, somebody that gets all the hype, somebody that dominates. You watch his highlight film from last year on this channel, you will see somebody making impact plays. We need him now more than ever. And playing next to him, 13-year veteran, John Jenkins, one of the few Ravens on defense who showed up to play. And that was very comforting to see, to have another nose tackle. So if Jones can evolve and be the new 3 tech, and maybe John Jenkins is the new nose tackle, you put those guys in there to at least push the pocket, that would be nice. But, quite honestly, if Matabike is out for an extended period of time, the Ravens need to try to make a move, maybe even a splash move, because Mike Green had a rough go of it. He had one good rep, I thought, like great rep, where he bench pressed Penei Sewell, obviously a mammoth of a man, best right tackle in the league, bench pressed him into Jared Goff. But other than that, Mike Green's still learning and feeling his way out in the league. And Odafe Oweh, he's gotten credited with a lot of pressures, but most of them that I saw were kind of like unblocked pressers, like naked bootlegs, and Oweh's unblocked and he rushes towards the quarterback. Oweh's got to get himself his first sack. And Justin Simmons is a rookie, a good player, but Oweh's got to put some pressure on him. And Oweh has played pretty well in some Kansas City games, so let's see if he can do it again. Highlighted here also 2 Kansas City Chiefs linemen that I think are the weak spots of this line. The left guard, Kingsley Suamataia. He will be forever linked with Rosengarten. They were taken right around the same spot. Might have been back-to-back picks. Can't remember. In any case, the Ravens got Roger Rosengarten. Kingsley Suamataia was the left tackle. He's already been demoted to left guard. Struggled mightily at left tackle. He is their left guard now. So that's where we need to take advantage. Again, I would put Travis Jones over him. Let Travis Jones go to town and see if he can pressure the second-year player who has struggled. And also Jawaan Taylor, veteran. I'm sure you guys know Jawaan Taylor from his Jacksonville's days. He's the guy that always almost false starts, and the refs let him get away with it. But he has a penalty waiting to happen with his holding. So we really need to see Mike Green emerge, use his speed, try to take away from Jawaan Taylor. Let me see if there's anybody in the chat that's new. Blackula, or needs to go back to coaching the linebackers. Okay. And Dwiz, I'm riding with bra. Okay. Living legend, a false startaholic. He is. He's a false startaholic, but the refs enable his startaholicism. The refs enable it. He's a holdaholic as well. That's where we gotta take advantage of him. So we mentioned old friend Hollywood Brown leads the Chiefs in targets. Xavier Worthy. Be interesting to see if he comes back this week. We should expect Worthy to be on the field. Xavier Worthy practiced all last week, but didn't play. This week he's in practicing again. So you would figure this would be the week that he comes back from a shoulder injury that he sustained early in week 1 running into Travis Kelce. So Worthy back out on the field. Marlon Humphrey in the slot. Worthy's going to see a lot of time in the slot, and Humphrey has got to play better. He's been our worst corner this year. And we throw out Jair because that was one game. But Awuzie's been the best, most consistent player on defense so far. Wiggins had a rough week 1, bounced back big time the last 2 weeks. Marlon Humphrey gave up those 2 big plays to Amon-Ra St. Brown, the German sun god. He's got to play better and stop talking about it and get out of his own head. Heard him on his podcast. He said a rookie asked him, what can we do to fix this? And Marlon said, I don't know. Personally, that rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like if you are a veteran and a highly paid one, you tell that rookie something. You give him the confidence. Say, look, we just need to play better. We need to trust each other. 1,000 things you could have said, Marlon. You told him you didn't know. I know I'm old school. I try to understand today's. I know he's free to podcast, pursue whatever he wants, and it doesn't affect his film study, and he plays his butt off. Marlon does. But I wish that they didn't do podcasts the day after the game. Because if you do a podcast the day after a loss, ain't nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. Why can't you do your podcast, say, on a Friday? And instead of doing the Lions recap podcast, you could do the Chiefs preview podcast. Say, hey, look, we put that Lions game behind us. We're heading to Arrowhead. The guys this and that and the other. That's what I would like to see. That's my suggestion for players that want to do a podcast. Don't do it on Monday when you're off day. Do it on Friday in your downtime. Rant, old man rant. Sorry, but can't. I can't take it. Hey, Heather. $20 super chat. Dropping the 20 twin from the Heather Hen. Tez and D-Hop as deep threats. They could take the top off. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And different ways to do it, too. Tez does it with pure speed separation. 1 foot in the ground, off he goes. Excuse me. D-Hop does it with, doesn't really matter. I'm going to get to my spot, and I'm going to beat you to the ball. I'm going to track the ball better than you. I got a better catch radius than you do, and I'm going to come down with the ball. But, yeah, same purpose for both of them. Jason, special teams has been awful, giving up short fields every game. Thank you, Heather. We're activating 1 billion special teams players, and the other team is still starting at the 35 on us. Sorry, getting worked up. Not used to talking this much. Still getting used to it. But, yeah, we got all these guys activated on special teams. And Tyler Loop, hey, that's the one thing. He looks great on his kicks. But he's got to get the kickoffs fixed. I think this is twice where he's mishit the ball and the other team started at the 40. We can't have that either. But, yeah, Tez, D-Hop, deep threats, all for it. And I would like to see Keaton Mitchell active. If we're going to keep up this field position, then we might as well do it with Keaton Mitchell. But a 20 twin from Heather. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. You are the best, the MVP. Okay. All right. Okay. So the other person that I have highlighted on the Ravens defense is Kyle Hamilton. Kyle had a bad game. Kyle had a bad game against Detroit. It's rare. He is allowed to have a bad game. In my book, if there anybody that gets a pass, it is Kyle Hamilton. I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but look for a big game for Kyle Hamilton in this one. All the short passes that the Chiefs throw, and we saw it, their average pass is like 6.4 for Mahomes. Let's look again. Mahomes only averaging 6.4 yards per attempt. A lot of short stuff, a lot of control. This is the kind of game that Kyle Hamilton flies around the field and hits people. And I'm going to be really, really excited to see it. And then Tyquan Thornton, the ex-receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you remember, he is their deep threat, somebody that we got to keep an eye on. Okay, so it is about time for score predictions and bold predictions. So get them typed up. And Heather gifted a Huddle It Up Films membership. If you receive that membership and you know it, say thank you to Heather in the chat, in the comments. That would be great. Actually, it looks like you gifted two, Heather. I'm trying to figure it out, but it looks like Heather gifted two. Thank you so much, MVP. Appreciate you. All right. And I am struggling with the dry throat. I hope I'm not getting sick. Okay. So the lines. It's time for our score prediction. The line is Ravens minus 2.5 points. The over-under is at 48.5. And my Dundalk math tells me that adds up to about a 26-23 Ravens win. I don't see a lot of score predictions coming in. You guys scared? You guys a little nervous? This time last week, I seen a lot of score predictions come in. So yeah. And Tim, looks like Tim got one of the members, and thanking Heather. Yeah, Heather's awesome. Chris, I'm done predicting these games, Jason. I will take care of you if you get sick, though. Appreciate it. I know you would. You are. Yeah, that's why you're the lovely Chris. That's all I have to say. Earn that nickname. Okay, here we go. Justin. Hey, Justin. Seen you followed me on Twitter. Followed you right back. Hope you interact with some of my tweets there. 30-23 Ravens is what Justin says. Almost missed my guy J-Dub. 30-20 Ravens, he's saying. Dario coming in, 31-24 Ravens. Alex, same score, 31-24, but he has the Chiefs. Almost missed the Chiefs. So, man, Alex is a realist. I like the fact that you're not scared to put the Ravens losing in your prediction. This is the first Ravens fan that's had us losing this year, and that makes me proud of you, Alex. That makes me proud of you because you're not afraid to speak your mind, son. They'll always do that. Always do that. Dwiz, 24-20 Ravens. I love you too, Heather. I see you in there. Linda J. The Linda J. You know, I think you should capitalize the THE. So you should be the Linda J. 31-28 Ravens. Blackula 88 coming back in. 33-31 Ravens. Okay, so Blackula's got a higher score. Him and Linda have a higher score. Living legend. See, they came. So I knew you guys come through. 27-24 Ravens. Close game. Mr. James feeling the blowout. 35-7. Mr. James, this comes through, man. I'm going to bring this back up. And you know what? Lamar has never won in Kansas City. We beat this team like this, the entire mood next week will be completely changed. It would do a lot, I think, for our psyche if we won this game by a couple of scores. I really do. We got Derrick Henry, looks so upset. Lamar looks so super frustrated. Fans are all over the place, just got demoralized, and darkness falls, all black jerseys. A win like that, Mr. James, shoot, we'd be right back on track. 25-13 Chiefs, Taurus. Boo, Taurus, boo. No, they're just messing with you. 30-28 Ravens. We are rolling. If Zio is there, 47-40 Ravens. Kwame, now you're just messing around. Kwame. Yeah, hey, Zio, man, I've been back and forth, Kwame. I'm starting to get a lot worried. We need an identity. I don't know if you missed the first part or not, or if you were here, Kwame, but the identity is just not there. I think we need to get more aggressive, need to blitz, trust our DBs because our front four ain't getting home. Trust the guys who are making the money, the high draft picks, this all-star secondary that we're supposed to have. Stop treating them like Joe Schmoes. Let them man up, let them press, and bring the house sometimes, Kwame. That's what I said earlier in the show. And Heather gifted another membership. Heather, you are a monster tonight. My goodness. Okay. Tila, nice of you to join us. 32-17 is the Tila score. Now, if somebody hits their score, they better remind me next week. Hey, Sam, I am. Samuel Moore, $10. Thank you. With the dime piece coming in. I still believe part of this has to do with the preseason. Maybe not all of it, but definitely some of it. Great show, Jason. Keep up all the hard work, brother. Let's go, Ravens, 35-31. Samuel, you're kind of convinced me on this. And what did I say last week, Samuel? If you remember, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. I haven't budged on this. I ain't throwing Lamar out there in the preseason. No, one hit is too much. This offensive line, we saw Voorhees out there. We saw Faalele out there. We saw Rosengarten out there. They got their work. It's on defense, especially with the 20 missed tackles that we had last week. Maybe our defense should be playing some in this preseason. Next year, that is. But get them out there, get them hitting, get them covering. And then the other thing, Samuel, is like, the zone defenses that we play, passing off zones, squeezing the zones, getting a feel for the route combinations in real time, all the communications, the blitzes that we were talking about earlier, disguising the blitzes, timing them up right. Yeah, Samuel, this time next year or, preseason next year, I'm probably going to be calling on our defense to play some, and not just Starks and Mike Green and the rookies, whoever the rookies are next year, but some of the vets. Okay. Oh, O'Derry. Hey, what's going on, man? 30-17 Ravens. Love it. Love it. O'Derry with a football is family. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Void Birth Music. Thanks for joining. First time I seen you. Appreciate you. 35-27 Ravens. And look at this. Tila. See, sometimes she acts like she doesn't care. Tila cares if don't nobody else care. She is the roundaway girl. That's the one for me. Almost forgot the Uncle L lyric there, Tila, but I pulled it out at the end. Thank you so much to Tila. Y'all thank Tila if you got a membership. I would appreciate that. Yeah, man. Another MVP. Well said. Well said. Okay, so I got to bring mine up. Y'all are lit in here tonight. I really appreciate this because I was expecting after the showing that we had on Monday night that there wasn't going to be nobody in here and nobody want to comment. And look at you guys come through. Look at you guys come through. So, score prediction, bold prediction time. What you think? It's 23-20 Chiefs. Lamar gets the ball back. Under a minute left. 2 timeouts because we had to burn one for some reason. Big play after big play. Lamar gets us into field goal range. Spikes the ball with 4 seconds left. Tyler Loop kicks the field goal. Tied at 23. Overtime. Ravens get the ball first. Drive downfield. D-Hop, touchdown. You score a touchdown on the first possession. The other team doesn't get their chance. 29-23 Ravens. Don't need to kick the extra point. Game is over right there. That is my bold prediction. And I try to make them exact because if it does come through, best believe you're going to see this on the internet. Yeah, I might make just a video out of it if this comes through. But yeah, the rookie Tyler Loop sends it to overtime. Hostile environment in Arrowhead. And a D-Hop redemption after the Chiefs didn't use him much last year and let him go. He found his home here in Baltimore. So that's what I got. That's what I got. Okay. This guy, living legend. Crack me up, man. Crack me up. Okay. What's this live stream I hear about, Chris? What's this live stream I hear about? You guys are leaving me in the dark? You leave me out? I can be. I'm pretty cool too. Okay. Hey, this would be that's a bold one. Harbaugh finally gives in, plays Keaton, and of course, if Keaton gets his chance, he take that. Kwame said Keaton on the couch. But that is bold. That is bold. Okay. All right. We get a third turnover for the season. So I'm sensing the sarcasm here in the chat, and I do love it. I do love it. Man, what a night. The super chats, Heather, Samuel, Hilo gifting the memberships, everybody coming through. I feel like I'm missing somebody else that gave something. I will go back. I do like to critique myself and go through and read all of the chat. Yeah, there's Samuel with the $10 membership scrolling up. Remember, Heather had a 20 in there. The memberships gifted. That's really, really, really sweet. But you guys, thanks so much for this entertaining night. The diehards were in here. If you saw the video and you liked it, please hit the like button and get into the algorithm. You share it if you'd like, and subscribe. Hey, we passed 4,000 subscribers. I read somewhere that like it's a very low percentage, like under 5%, might be like close to 2%. People who start channels, they don't get, it's only 1 or 2% to get to 5,000 subscriptions. So it may not seem like a lot to some. I know some Ravens channels have a ton of subscribers, but if I get to 5,000, I think that would be really cool. So, like and subscribe if you would like. We try to put out some cut-ups this week, but they are depressing. I will warn you, they are depressing. And may do something for my new subscribers and the new channel members coming out. Maybe I'll put out a preview video coming up this weekend for members only. But with that, I want to say thank you so much to my football family. I love my football family. You guys know who you are. Thanks for holding it down. And thanks for all that you do for the channel. We'll talk to you next week. And Mr. James coming in with a late bowl prediction. The Ravens defense shuts out Mahomes. Man, Mr. James, I like the vibe that Mr. James is on. And I hope next week, Mr. James, we give you credit and give you your flowers for getting it right. Love y'all. Have a good night. Go Ravens. Let's win in Kansas City. Lamar needs his first win in Arrowhead. Let's get it, fellas.